Australia is famous for its venomous snakes, colossal crocodiles, and spiders so large they could keep anyone awake at night. But all of these modern creatures are nothing compared to the monsters that once ruled this land, beasts so gigantic and terrifying that today's wildlife would look tame beside them. Our journey begins roughly 60,000 years ago, when humans first set foot on the continent. Imagine trekking through the dense forests of ancient Australia and coming face to face with Thylacoleo carnifex, the marsupial lion. Forget everything you know about modern lions. This predator possessed the strongest bite force of any mammal to ever live, powerful enough to crush the skull of its prey with a single snap. Its incisors were sharp like steel cutters, and its massive claws could tear through flesh with ease. This lion wasn't much taller than a modern lioness, standing about 75 centimeters at the shoulder. But what made it truly terrifying was its ability to climb trees using those same formidable claws. Picture a predator weighing 110 kilograms, built like a muscular war dog, crouched on a branch before leaping down onto unsuspecting prey. Early humans who wandered these forests likely encountered this formidable beast, and not all of them lived to tell the tale. Now, imagine walking through prehistoric Australia when a bird as tall as a person steps out from the brush. This was Genyornis newtoni, a flightless bird standing 2 meters tall and weighing up to 240 kilograms, nearly the height of a modern emu, but far bulkier and far more menacing. If today's cassowary looks like something out of a dinosaur movie, then Genyornis was its Ice Age counterpart, larger, heavier, and every bit as intimidating. With powerful legs, Genyornis could run at impressive speeds, making escape a difficult prospect. Though not a predator, its sheer size would have been enough to make any creature, or person, think twice before approaching. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient Australians hunted this bird. Charred eggshells found at prehistoric sites suggest its eggs may have once been a valuable food source. Though Genyornis is long extinct, people often point to its modern descendant, the cassowary, the most dangerous bird on Earth, native to northern Australia and New Guinea. Cassowaries stand up to 1.8 meters tall and are notoriously aggressive when threatened. With muscular legs and dagger-like claws, they can deliver fatal kicks. Indeed, several people have been killed that way. Encountering a living Genyornis would have been an experience no one would wish for. Next comes a creature that makes modern kangaroos look like harmless rodents, Procoptodon, the giant, short-faced kangaroo. It stood up to 3 meters tall and weighed close to half a ton, with a broad, flat face and long, powerful arms capable of reaching high branches. Unlike today's kangaroos that hop, Procoptodon could walk upright on its hind legs, resembling a prehistoric boxer in stance and strength. It survived until around 45,000 years ago, possibly later, meaning humans almost certainly encountered it. Though not carnivorous, its sheer power and size would have made early hunters think twice before getting too close. If that isn't impressive enough, meet Palorchestes, marsupial tapir. This massive herbivore looked something like a pig, but with a short trunk like an elephant's, claws like a giant ground sloth's, and the stocky build of a bear. It could rear up on its hind legs to reach high branches, using its enormous claws to strip bark from trees. Standing about 1.8 meters at the shoulder, Palorchestes was larger than any living tapir today. You might wonder, was it dangerous? The answer is yes. Its teeth were large and sharp, and its claws could inflict serious wounds. Modern tapirs are usually docile, but even they sometimes attack humans without warning, causing severe injuries, so their prehistoric relatives were certainly not to be trifled with. No discussion of Australia's prehistoric killers would be complete without mentioning crocodiles, the swift, powerful, and terrifying apex predators that still claim lives today. Even now, one bite from a saltwater crocodile can decapitate a human instantly. But if you think modern crocodiles are fearsome, wait until you meet Quincana, a land-dwelling crocodile capable of running as fast as a horse. Unlike modern crocodiles with short legs built for stealthy ambushes, Quincana had long, muscular limbs that allowed it to chase down prey over land. Most fossils indicate individuals around 3 meters long, but one specimen from the Pliocene suggests it could reach 6 meters, making Quincana one of the largest terrestrial predators in Australia's history. Its teeth weren't designed for gripping, they were built for slicing, capable of shearing off massive chunks of flesh with each bite. Imagine trying to outrun a crocodile that could sprint through the forest like a galloping stallion. That's the stuff of nightmares. Yet Quincana wasn't the only reptile to terrorize ancient Australia. Enter Varanus priscus, better known as Megalania, the largest lizard ever to walk the earth. It stretched up to 7 meters long and weighed over 600 kilograms, roughly the size of a small car, though this car came equipped with razor-sharp claws and a venomous bite. Those enormous claws weren't just for defense, they were lethal weapons for slashing and holding down prey. Its curved, serrated teeth functioned like carving knives, slicing through flesh in an instant. Worse still, Megalania's venom prevented its victims' blood from clotting, causing them to bleed out rapidly. One bite could tear away as much as 20 kilograms of flesh in a single motion. This giant dragon hunted anything it could catch, from Diprotodon to giant kangaroos, and if it ever encountered humans, it certainly wouldn't have spared them. Imagine facing a reptile faster, stronger, and tougher than any person. Its venomous bite enough to end a life in moments. This monstrous lizard survived until around 50,000 years ago, before vanishing, likely due to climate change. But the terror doesn't end there. Prehistoric Australia was also home to enormous snakes. Picture a serpent so massive it would make you question whether humans were ever truly at the top of the food chain. This was Liasis dubudingala, an ancient relative of the modern olive python, growing up to 10 meters long and weighing about 250 kilograms. This snake was not merely a hunter, it was a master of ambush. Living in ancient forests and waterways, it could constrict and crush a human with ease and was large enough to swallow one whole. Fortunately for us, humans arrived in Australia thousands of years after it disappeared. Liasis dubudingala preyed upon giant marsupials like ancient kangaroos and Diprotodon, gliding silently through the undergrowth, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Imagine a 9-meter serpent coiled beside a riverbank, waiting patiently for its next meal. A haunting and awe-inspiring image from Australia's prehistoric past. But the horrors of prehistory weren't limited to the land. The ancient seas of the supercontinent Gondwana, FSD, and later of Australia after it broke away, were once home to some of the most terrifying predators in history, from the Jurassic all the way to the Pliocene. At the top of this oceanic food chain ruled Kronosaurus, a marine reptile so enormous it made the modern great white shark look like a sardine. This monstrous creature stretched up to 11 meters long, about the size of a school bus, with a head twice as large as that of Tyrannosaurus rex, teeth the size of bananas, and a bite powerful enough to crush a small boat. Weighing between 15 and 20 tons, Kronosaurus dominated the seas of ancient Australia 120 million years ago, hunting down anything unfortunate enough to stray into its domain. Next came Elasmosaurus, a marine reptile that could reach lengths of up to 21 meters. What made it truly remarkable were its massive, dish-sized eyes that allowed it to see in low light, giving it the ability to dive deeper than modern whales and swim faster than any surviving marine reptile at speeds approaching 40 kilometers per hour. Yet perhaps the most terrifying ruler of the ancient oceans was Pliosaurus. Imagine a creature with a head the size of a car, teeth longer than a human arm, and a bite strong enough to crush a small whale. This 15-meter monster propelled itself with enormous paddle-like flippers, gliding through the water with the speed and precision of a motorboat. The ancient seas were also home to Leadsichthys, possibly the largest fish to ever exist. Though it wasn't a predator, this colossal filter feeder could grow up to 15 meters long and weigh as much as 54 tons, making today's whale shark seem like a guppy by comparison. And then there was Leviathan, AMR, a prehistoric sperm whale armed with teeth the size of wine bottles lining both its upper and lower jaws. Unlike modern sperm whales that feed mostly on squid, this 18-meter titan hunted other whales. But beyond its monstrous jaws, Leviathan possessed another terrifying weapon, a powerful sonar system housed within its head, capable of generating sound waves strong enough to rupture the internal organs of its prey. Now we descend even deeper to meet the legendary killer of the seas, Megalodon. Though this gigantic shark once prowled every ocean on Earth, the waters surrounding ancient Australia were among its favored hunting grounds. But just how massive was it? Imagine a great white shark, Already a fearsome predator, and then triple its size, Megalodon could reach lengths of 18 meters, longer than a semi-trailer. Its jaws were lined with teeth larger than a human hand, with some measuring up to 18 centimeters, each the size of a dinner plate. But what truly made Megalodon terrifying was its hunting strategy. It could swim at speeds of up to 65 kilometers per hour, using its massive tail fin to launch itself upward from the depths in ambush attacks. When it struck, its bite force reached 40,000 pounds per square inch, non-4, stronger than that of Tyrannosaurus rex, and 30 times more powerful than a lion's, capable of shattering the bones of even the largest whales. Megalodon often attacked the fins of its prey first, crippling it before moving in for the kill. With a single bite, it could consume more than 1,100 kilograms of flesh, equivalent of an entire adult cow. These creatures were truly astonishing, but prehistoric Australia wasn't the only land ruled by giants. Across the planet, countless other colossal beings reigned supreme in their own domains. One of the most remarkable primates to ever exist was Gigantopithecus blacki, or G. blacki, the largest ape in Earth's history. This massive primate thrived about 2 million years ago across China, Southeast Asia, and India, living in dense tropical forests filled with fruit, nuts, grasses, and bamboo. To this day, scientists have never found a complete skeleton, only jaws and teeth. When analyzed, the upper molars of G. blacki were found to be 58% larger than those of modern gorillas, and the lower molars 33% larger. Based on these proportions, researchers estimate it weighed between 200 and 300 kilograms, standing as tall as 2.7 to 3 meters when upright. Due to its enormous size and heavy build, G. blacki likely moved on all fours, much like modern gorillas. Its diet consisted mostly of bamboo, supplemented by leaves and fruit, but as dense forests gave way to open woodlands and savannas, bamboo, the mainstay of its diet, disappeared. Where marks and scratches on fossilized teeth suggest the apes were forced to survive on bark and dry branches, until the species finally went extinct between 295,000 and 215,000 years ago. When it comes to giant mammals, another icon of prehistoric America was Megatherium, ISA. The giant ground sloth. This lumbering behemoth roamed across Central and South America during the Pleistocene epoch from about 2.5 million to 11,000 years ago. Imagine a creature twice the height of a North American grizzly bear, reaching up to 6 meters tall when standing on its hind legs. Its most distinctive feature was its long, curved claws, 30 centimeters in length, used for pulling down branches, stripping leaves, and defending against predators. Though most scientists classify Megatherium as an herbivore, some argue it may have been omnivorous, capable of crushing small animals with sheer strength. Another hypothesis suggests these massive sloths excavated enormous tunnels, HD2, and since 2009, archaeologists have found more than 1,500 such tunnels bearing massive claw marks, some stretching hundreds of meters long, though their true purpose remains a mystery. The extinction of Megatherium americanum is believed to have been caused by a combination of climate change and human hunting during the late Quaternary megafaunal extinction event. Yet Megatherium wasn't the only giant dominating prehistoric America. Picture an armadillo the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, weighing up to 2 tons. That was Glyptodon. Glyptodon, the giant armored armadillo of the Pleistocene, looked like a prehistoric tank. Its body was encased in a massive bony shell made of interlocking plates, similar to a turtle's carapace, providing protection from nearly all predators. In 2020, a farmer in Argentina discovered 4 Glyptodon shells, some more than 3 meters long. These creatures once roamed open plains and sparse forests, using their strong legs and clawed feet for digging, foraging, and self-defense. Despite their thick armor, Glyptodon eventually met the same fate as Megatherium, driven to extinction about 10,000 years ago by climate shifts and human hunting. Ancient people may have even used their empty shells as shelters. Along with other great mammals of the time, they gradually vanished from Earth. That brings us to another Ice Age giant, the short-faced bear, Arctotherium. This monstrous predator was among the largest bears ever to exist, weighing up to 1,600 kilograms and standing more than 3.3 meters tall when upright, an icon of power during South America's glacial age. Its massive size made it a true giant of the prehistoric world. With a muscular frame and powerful limbs, this apex predator roamed the grasslands and forests of South America, armed with sharp claws and an exceptionally strong bite. Arctotherium likely sat at the very top of its food chain, preying on large mammals including Glyptodon and possibly even Megatherium. Its robust jaws, sharp teeth, and immense strength reveal an animal perfectly adapted for overpowering and consuming large prey. These great bears went extinct around the same time as the megafauna they hunted. Yet there was another Ice Age titan, the steppe mammoth, Mammuthus trogontherii, a colossal species of elephant that once roamed across Eurasia. This was among the largest mammoths ever known, distinguished by its immense size and unique adaptations. The steppe mammoth stood about 13 feet at the shoulder, and fossil evidence suggests it could weigh up to 12 tons, significantly larger than modern elephants. Its long, curved tusks, which could extend beyond 13 feet, were likely used for foraging through snow and defending against predators. It thrived in open, cold grasslands, feeding on grasses, sedges, and other low vegetation. Fossils have been discovered across a vast range, Western Europe to Siberia and China, offering valuable insights into its evolution and ecology. Scientists believe the steppe mammoth played a crucial role in shaping Pleistocene ecosystems, influencing vegetation patterns and serving as a keystone species. Despite its strength, size, and adaptability, it ultimately vanished by the end of the Pleistocene, INO-CP, likely due to climate change, habitat loss, and pressure from human hunters. There is no question that prehistoric mammals were enormous, but you are about to meet creatures that were even larger. Elasmotherium, often called the Siberian unicorn, was among the biggest land mammals ever to walk the earth. It lived from roughly 2.6 million to 29,000 years ago across Central Asia, especially in what is now Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and China, where its fossils have been found. From those fossils, researchers estimate a body length of about 16 to 18 feet, 5 to 5.5 meters, and a mass of roughly 5 to 7 tons, around the combined weight of 3 adult African elephants. Though Elasmotherium resembled modern rhinoceroses, it was not a close relative in the sense of sharing a recent common ancestor. Its gigantic size may have been an adaptation for browsing higher vegetation in dense forests. Indricotherium and Selenca, with its long, flexible neck, and Selenca was ideal for reaching foliage far above the ground, while its robust skull anchored powerful jaw muscles for pulverizing tough plants. No one is certain why these giants vanished, but shifts in plant communities and competition with other herbivores likely pushed them toward extinction. There were, however, carnivores large enough to hunt such mega herbivores. Andrewsarchus was a colossal predator of the Eocene. Known primarily from a single skull discovered in Mongolia, this extinct mammal is thought to have lived between 45 and 36 million years ago and ranks among the largest terrestrial meat-eaters known to science. Its enormous skull, more than 83 centimeters long, marks it as a formidable hunter, hinting at a bite powerful enough to subdue large prey. Even so, much about Andrewsarchus remains shrouded in mystery. Mammals began small, but even rodents sometimes evolved to outlandish sizes. Josephortigacia monesi, an extinct rodent from the late Pliocene of Uruguay, holds the record as the largest rodent ever known, living roughly 2 to 4 million years ago. Its skull measured over 20 inches, implying a body size comparable to a cow. Imagine a mouse like that, truly gigantic. It also possessed remarkably strong incisors up to 12 inches long. The exact function of these fearsome teeth is still debated. They may have helped it access vegetation, dig burrows, or defend itself. In the absence of behavioral traces, scientists rely on anatomy and comparisons with relatives to infer how Josephortigacia used its massive incisors. Its extinction remains unclear and under study. Multiple factors, environmental fluctuations, changes in vegetation, interspecies competition, and possibly human influence may all have played a part. Titanotylopus, an extinct genus of camel, lived during the late Miocene, 19–2012, around 10 to 15 million years ago. Among the largest of all camels, it stood about 10 feet at the shoulder and weighed more than 2,200 pounds. Stocky in build yet long-limbed, it was well adapted for crossing the grasslands, savannas, and woodlands of its time. Fossils of Titanotylopus are found chiefly in North America, especially Texas, Nebraska, and California. It likely browsed on tender plant matter, leaves, shrubs, and grasses. Like many giants, it ultimately disappeared due to a host of environmental and ecological pressures. Despite its size and strength, it would still have been vulnerable to the era's apex predators, such as the next creature on our list. What would you get if you crossed a bear with a dog? You would have Amphision, and its name literally means bear dog. A fearsome carnivore of the Miocene and early Pliocene, it lived from roughly 16 to 2 million years ago. Its size ranged from that of a large dog to that of a modern bear, with some species stretching nearly 7 feet long and standing more than 3 feet at the shoulder. Blending bear-like and dog-like traits, Amphision carried sharp teeth and powerful jaws, well suited to bringing down sizable vertebrates such as prehistoric horses, rhinoceroses, and juvenile elephants. Despite its prowess, Amphision vanished by the close of the Neogene, FU, likely due to climate change, habitat loss, biological competition, and possibly human impacts. Returning to the Pleistocene, a host of other giant mammals are known from the fossil record. Diprotodon, often dubbed the giant wombat, was an extraordinary herbivorous marsupial that lived in Australia from about 1.6 million to 46,000 years ago. Among the largest marsupials ever discovered, it stood up to 6.6 feet at the shoulder and weighed more than 4,400 pounds, rivaling the size of a modern rhinoceros. Its most striking traits were a massive skull, powerful forelimbs, and teeth exquisitely adapted for consuming tough vegetation. For all its imposing bulk, Diprotodon was likely a gentle giant, browsing leaves and low plants across ancient Australian landscapes. Sadly, Diprotodon, IM, like many megafauna, IM, disappeared by the end of the Pleistocene, probably due to a combination of climate change, human hunting, and habitat loss. Now we come to a creature once heralded as the largest mammal ever to exist, Prehistoric colossus, an ancient, now extinct whale that reigned in Miocene seas roughly 12 to 13 million years ago. Its name is no exaggeration. It was up to 20 meters long and may have weighed more than 80 tons, comparable to a modern sperm whale. Fossils of Prehistoric colossus have been found primarily in Peru. This archaic whale had thick, cone-shaped bones, dense and heavy, suggesting a skeleton built to bear tremendous mass. It may have hunted or scavenged large marine animals, including fish, squid, and perhaps even smaller whales. Despite its titanic size and striking adaptations, Prehistoric colossus ultimately vanished from the oceans, and the cause of its extinction remains an open question. We would love to hear your thoughts. How do you think Smilodon wielded its saber teeth? And is there a prehistoric giant we missed? Share your ideas in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in our journey of discovery. Thanks for watching.